Welcome to the Well Woman Show, where motivated women achieve fulfillment and well-being.
You're listening to the Well Woman Show.
You're listening to the Well Woman Show.
You're going to be in for a good ride.
I'm a woman. I would prefer to tell my own story. My story, though it's very personal, is universal.
You're listening to the Well Woman Show. And now your host, Giovanna Rossi.
Hello, Well Women. Happy summertime. For those of you in warmer climates, we are in the full swing of summer. And for those of you in colder climates, not so much, but still busy time. And I want to talk to you today about creating more time and space for the things that you love and the things that you love to do and the things that you love to create and the people that you love. And we talk about this in terms of income, impact, and intimacy on the Well Woman Show. And this is part 2 of creating more time and space. Part 1 was the show I did a few weeks ago, number 163. So you can go to wellwomanlife.com/163 show for that one. That's part 1. Part 2, we're going to dive into a specific exercise and a kind of process for figuring out how you can take back some of your time and space, right? We all have the same 24 hours, and we all need to do certain things in those 24 hours to keep ourselves alive. And what we do with the remaining hours is really, up to both us individually, and it's also sort of up to how we interact with the world. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that today, and we're going to get started with an exercise called the Sounds of Summer. So if you're in a place to journal a little bit or take some notes, definitely do that. If not, you can just listen and think through what you would write down, or pause and write it down later. But for the Sounds of Summer exercise, I want you to close your eyes if you're in a safe place to do it. If you're driving or running, exercising, don't close your eyes. But if you're in a safe place to close your eyes and just take a deep breath. And I want you to envision and hear all of the sounds of summer that you love. And you may have heard these sounds recently, and you may not have, and that's okay. I want you to think of all the sounds that you love. Some of the sounds that I love are the sounds of my kids laughing and fizzy drinks opening. I love the sound of water and splashing. I love the sound of crispy watermelon in my mouth. I love the sound of a crackling fire when I'm camping. And lately, I have loved the sound of women's soccer. My son is an avid soccer player, so we're watching a lot of soccer right now. I think even if he wasn't an avid soccer player, we would be watching the Women's World Cup. Also, maybe you love listening to the sound of a tennis ball hit a racket. So I want you to really dig deep and think about, don't think too hard, but just let these sounds and images come into your awareness and jot them down. You might also like the sound of the cha-ching of, like, if you think of a cash register when money is coming in, right? When you're earning money or you're generating income for yourself and your family. So there are all kinds of sounds of summer that we love. So take a few minutes and do this. Hopefully, while I've been talking, you've been thinking of some of the sounds that you love and jotting them down, making a mental note of those. And I want you to now think about which of those you have not heard lately. So there are definitely probably some things on your list that you haven't heard lately that you do love. And we're going to create some awareness around this so that you can identify those things that you haven't been creating for yourself that you do love, that bring you joy and happiness and fulfillment. So a lot of times these things that we love and that we're not creating are the result of a lot of shoulds in our life. Shoulds, SHOULDS. All the shoulds that we put on ourselves, that our family puts on us, that society puts on us. And so I want you to think about what are the shoulds in your life that are an obstacle to you creating the sounds of summer that you love. And in this way, we will be identifying basically a way to create more time and space for you to have or experience those sounds of summer that you love. Okay, so that's what we're doing today. We'll be right back. This episode of The Well Woman Show is brought to you by Collective Action Strategies, supporting organizations that support women and families, and by Well Woman Life Movement Challenge Quiz, your resource for living your best life. If you're in burnout or major transition, this is your time to figure out what's holding you back from making the changes you need to make in order to live your fullest, most joyful life. The cause of all of our challenges, personal or professional, can actually be rooted in the lack of internal superpowers and or external supports. Our Well Woman Life framework tells you which stage of the Well Woman life cycle you're in and what to do about it so you can truly live your best life. You can find out more at wellwomanlife.com/quiz. I'm so thankful for support from Natural Awakenings Magazine in New Mexico, a monthly green, healthy lifestyle publication, and for support from High Desert Yoga, promoting optimum physical health, clarity of mind, and spiritual inspiration for all. We're back on The Well Woman Show. If you think about the things that we as women are valued for, we're generally valued for two major things. We're valued as nurturers. That is how and when we have children or take care of others. And the second one is, the second thing that we're valued most for is the way we look, right? Do we look the way that we're quote unquote supposed to look at whatever age we are? Do we look good, whatever that is? Do we look thin? Do we look the way society has told us women need to look? So those are the two things. The other thing, and this probably fits into the first category of nurturing, but something that's been coming up a lot in conversations with women is this idea that we really are expected to put other people first before our needs and desires. And so all of these things that I've just been talking about create these shoulds, right? You should look a certain way. You should be having children. You shouldn't be having children. You should be parenting differently. You should be putting other people first. Why are you doing that? You should be, putting someone else first before you do something. So all of this is wrapped up in all of these expectations that society has for us. And that trickles down to our family and to ourselves individually. And that is ultimately what internalized oppression is, right? That is when we start acting in sexist and racist ways that don't actually benefit us or other people. And it's not aligned with our actual beliefs. So we're creating awareness around the shoulds in our life. And we started this by reflecting on the sounds of summer that we love. And so if you have your list of the sounds of summer, now think about all the shoulds that are maybe holding you back or that you're holding on to related to being a nurturer, related to putting others first, related to looking good or looking, being really wrapped up in how you look. A lot of times we spend so much time on how we look, either our diet, our skin, our makeup, our hair, our nails. It just goes on. And not to say that, all of that is bad. Like, I love going to the nail salon. Don't get me wrong. It's just that we spend an incredible amount of time on these things. And sometimes when we really look at it, it's like, I don't actually want to be doing all that. Like, I wish it wasn't expected of me, because I really would rather spend my time on other things. And so that's what we're here talking about today, is creating more time and space by looking at the things that are taking up our energy, our time, and our space, and undoing some of that. So now that we've gone and created some awareness, we're going to go inward with, and you can do this, going inward, I say this, really it's, doing some sort of meditation or meditative activity that helps you uncover what you really want and what's really true for you. You can press pause and do a little meditation on this, or the next time you do a meditative activity, whether it's taking a walk, doing some cooking, doing some sewing, whatever meditative activity that you like to do, you can kind of really mull this over and think about what you really want and what are all the shoulds that have been keeping you from experiencing the sounds of summer. So another great thing to do when we're going inward is to do a vision board. And you can do that. There's a whole show that I do that talks about vision boards, and that's 059 show. So wellwomanlife.com/059 show. And we'll put all the links in the show notes, but just to say, this is a great time when you're going inward, you create a vision board, and it's kind of just helps you have a visual representation of what you want to create for yourself in those three areas: income, impact, and intimacy. Okay, so we've gone through awareness. We've gone through the second stage here, intuition, or going inward. Now we're going to go into the third stage, which is aligned action, and create an action plan. And there is an episode that talks about this. It's 159, Taking Right Action. So you can go to wellwomanlife.com/159 show. And here, what we're really doing is, based on everything that you have uncovered so far about the obstacles and the expectations, now you can create an aligned action plan by looking at what is the outcome you want? What is the result you want? And actually, you came up with those at the very beginning when we did the Sounds of Summer exercise. So just go back and grab those. Those are your outcomes, right? I want to laugh more. I want to open more fizzy drinks. I want to splash in the water more. I want to hear the sound of cha-ching, income, money coming in my business. I want to hear the sound of kids laughing. I want to hear the sound of crisp watermelon in my mouth. So those are your results, your outcomes, right? So how do we create more time and space for those things? We go to the fourth stage here, which is integrate or flow, and we start setting some boundaries. And we really hone in on what we have been saying yes to, all the expectations, all the shoulds in our life, what we've been saying yes to that we really don't need to be doing anymore. And we start shedding some of those. And you can listen to the Setting Boundaries show at 161 show. So wellwomanlife.com/161 show. if you want to dig into that a little bit more. But basically, what you do with your aligned action plan is you now integrate it into your life by setting boundaries, and that ultimately gives you more energy, time, and space for creating those outcomes that you brainstormed at the beginning of this episode when we did the Sounds of Summer exercise. So if you're listening to this show and you've gotten to this point and you haven't done the Sounds of Summer exercise, go back and do that. Like, press pause, go back to the beginning of the show and just do the Sounds of Summer real quick. It just takes a couple of minutes, and it's really helpful to figure out what it is you actually want more time and space for, and how to get there. So this has been a very sort of quick overview of creating more time and space, part 2. And like I said before, you can hear part 1 at wellwomanlife.com/163 show. And all the links to all these various different pieces are going to be in the show notes. And I would love to hear what your Sounds of Summer are. Definitely head over to our Facebook community, wellwomanlife.com/Facebook, to share there. Or you can email me directly at info@wellwomanlife.com. Until next week, have a great summer. That's it for our show today. Remember, if you need support to live your Well Woman life, head over to wellwomanlife.com/Facebook to join us. Our monthly live event, Well Woman Drinks, brings women together to share our successes and challenges as women, leaders, moms, aunts, sisters, and all the other roles we carry. If you'd like to attend a Well Woman Drinks near you, or if there isn't one in your city yet and you'd like to start one, email info@wellwomanlife.com. If you enjoyed the show, please take a moment and subscribe in iTunes and leave a review. This helps raise visibility, which is super helpful when it comes to producing the show every week. For feedback, comments, or just to let me know you were listening today, find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Well Woman Life. I'm Giovanna Rossi for The Well Woman Show. Until next time, have a super powerful week.